Hey, good evening, guys. Let's get a look at this thing, kind of review what we had going. Yeah, you are right. When I did this, I did not refine this area in the middle. By the time I got done moving everything around, I felt like to put the two bedrooms together with the bathroom that takes a pretty big chunk, and it also made it difficult to decide where we were putting the other bathroom. So as I send these over, excuse me, I'm going to count on you guys to help me a little bit on this. I will try to maintain this box here that will let us, excuse me, got the hiccups. It will let us know what we're doing here, designating for these rooms. Right now, it looks like we got the laundry at 142, and the two bedrooms, for instance, are going to be, let's get their names in there. When I flipped them over, there we go. They're 120 or something like that. Let's go to the rooms. Okay, that'll be bedroom 2. Here's bedroom 3. Okay, what are they? 119, 120, pretty close. So this will tell us what we got going. We're 12 foot front to back. I think I've got 4/6 in the closet. Then I line these walls up all the way through into the garage. So looking at our let's bring this box to there. We'll cruise on in. Basically, I kind of took up what we had here. The entryway had issues, reconfigure, reduce the square footage, and that's why I brought the two rooms forward to fill that room up. And then we went ahead and I thought by bringing that whole area forward, and it might look easier if we did something like this. And then I'll show you what we had in there before. So if we move this up, and then there we go. So saving the copy of that was here. Okay. This should allow us to kind of look underneath what we had before. So these red lines underneath here are what was existing. So you can see that I took this area of the entry and I pushed that wall in flush so that we have a straight wall all the way through. That just gave us this small square footage back. I hate having this much hallway in there, so where we had the laundry, I moved it over here. I think probably we've got more laundry than we need there, but I wasn't sure how to without taking away from what you guys are happy with in this area, flipping maybe some of that spot over here to try to start pushing out the unusable or the non-wanted extra space there. So basically that's what I'm trying to get figured out on this one. Turn that down. Okay, then we've got let's see, the toilet room, the way it was coming off of this, it just didn't give me enough room. I need 60 inches in there for a door, or at least 40. I think I need 21 inches in front of the stool. So I typically try to keep these fairly good size. We can reduce it, but when we do a toilet room, I like to try to make it roomy in there. Either way, this is kind of where we were at before, kind of small. I thought if we flipped the toilet over, it could possibly get that into the closet room a little bit more. I'll reduce, as you can kind of see, I moved this wall in as well, reducing the safe room or the hobby room and this a little bit. And on this plan here, I think I've got a note there. Okay, here's where the note is, I believe, in the square footage. Okay. So I think the previous hobby room was at 100 square feet, and the one we've got now I squinched it down to about 11 foot by 9 foot for a total of 100. So that's what we've got there on that one. Let's take a look and see what we got for looks on the outside. By doing this and putting the bathroom and laundry room here, I haven't put any windows on that back wall. Not sure what we're going to want. Need to correct that roof. I think this roof just... Okay. So it's possible as we start trying to get rid of some room, we might be able to squeeze this back down from a 26 foot, maybe 24. We could maybe take 2 feet out of that bathroom. I got rid of that window in the back, stuck the door there. This is a little bit tight. They'd like to have more sleeve for them walls. I think we've got the 10-foot doors that are coming across there. So let's see. Looks like I got my wall moved a bit. Let's see. We want to bring that thing back down. I think I had these. So I had 10 foot. This front's 14, and I'm supposed to be 26 here. I think that brick facade I stuck on the front might have been a little bit funky. Okay, so I went ahead because the original plan had the drive up in the front, the entry in the front. This one does not. I felt it necessary to create this covered porch on it. I'm hoping that's acceptable to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead, since I pushed that front entry in, push this back too. And again, I think we still need to remove some square footage. If I look at what we had previous, I'll go back and look at that ticket, but I think this right here will tell us where we're at now for the square footage. So I think we were at 29 before. So I didn't really get rid of much, but you can kind of see I'm trying to push things this way. And we might be able to do this. And then see what we had for square footage before. Move that up. Go to here. Okay, let's see if this gives us a good enough overview. Well, actually, it kind of does. We can see that we ditched this portion and we got rid of this. It's not a bunch. So I got rid of that much and this much so far. In all honesty, we've got this. Probably could get this right here. Excuse me, this laundry room. That's probably more room than we need. So as I move things this way or try to push into that, I'm trying to occupy it without distorting this room over here too bad. So let's go ahead and I'll do a couple walkthroughs with the camera, and I'll let you guys kind of see what we had going here. I think this is one of the pilings that I like, but I think after talking to Colin, he said these aren't as realistic as far as coming through. That it's more likely that they're going to build, and I need to clean these up. Looks like my columns aren't centered, but these are basically the style that you would be able to likely end up with, which is, I think they would use the square boxed frames, and then they would buy that gemstone material and follow the base up. This right here is probably, like he said, they're a lot more expensive and probably a little bit less realistic. So just putting this together for a facade, we would have the concrete sidewalk, and then this right here would be built right into the roof, the covered. I've got, I think, a 5-foot sidewalk there. Let's see. So we're at 5'6" to I was thinking 6 foot for a canted roof, and then and we'll once we decide that's what you like, I'll go ahead and finalize things. I'm to the point now I'm continuing to move stuff. So for instance, in the back, as I move the bay window, then I have to correct and fix the roof. So I kept moving that around in the back until I felt I was comfortable with it. But each time I move it, then I have to dork around with the roof, and it's not quite right. So I'm waiting for everything to quit moving, and then we'll detail it up. We had this right here wall moved up here like this, or in that area, and I thought it would be, I don't know why we would want to. I'm trying to get rid of these halls because a hallway to the bedroom is an unusable area, in my opinion. So we've got the hallway there. We've got this entry right here. I did add the closet on the one side right here. I don't think it will be a problem to put your mechanical system out here. So let's take a look at some of the, see if we can get this to work for us. Okay, so this has got the Jack and Jill bathrooms. It's pretty difficult, definitely small rooms. And then do we need this bathroom across the hall? And you know, maybe you guys can help me come up with a way of putting the powder room in here somewhere. Maybe off the corner, maybe, I don't know if you guys want the bathroom in this area, but as far as we divide that up, I'm not sure how we want to do it. I basically put a line across right over here, and I've called that the kitchen. And then I brought a line from right about here and about the middle all the way to right here, designating this room here, the living room, dining, and then this one over here would be the kitchen. And we'd have the pantry here. First room, let's see. You get your walk-in pantry. We've got room for a full bath. So as we narrow this down, maybe this will get moved over somewhere and we can squeeze something there. But to make use of that room, I didn't really want to do that at first because you guys had said it was an open plan, and I thought that bounded up too much. But as you walk in from the garage, I think it just leads you right into the dining room kitchen. You can see where I have to move the foundation over since I slid that bedroom wall over, trying to get a little more of the heating or a little more of the living area back. Okay, I think that cleaned that up a little bit. And a raised area in the back, we could certainly do mechanical. This is kind of what I had done on another project I did out in their garage. They had a little lifted area they did for their dogs. It was something like that for the dog wash to help contain them. But so this one here, we talked about this door, and we'll have to go over that again. And something like that. Let me close it. Wham. So I know you think you had said you wanted a door on the inside. I made it a 3.0. It looked like Jordan had it as a 2.6. So let's also talk about that. And then I've got this Narnia door out here. Looks like I waxed my cabinet out. But they've got some, the bookshelf is what we'll be putting there. And I didn't have time to make the bookshelf, so I just used a previous deal that I had. We'll make it a bookshelf. I think maybe I could do this. Let's try this. You know, it's possible. Best storytellers and podcasting by Podcast Business Journal. Oh my. One of the best true crime and paranormal podcasts by Maybe it'll put some books in there for me too. Lock your windows, turn off your lights, and come with me into the It might be mad that I deleted all the shelves out of there. Okay, either way, not a big deal. Let's close that back out. So as we're cruising through this, and we're looking at that master closet, like to make sure that I'm leaving enough room in there for what we need done. I've got the toilet flipped over there. I'm not sure if that's the way we want to do it or not.
Read reviews and compare prices all on the app. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
And I know these windows will be frosted. Just trying to look inside. It keeps trying to take the roof off. This gives us a little bit better idea what's going to be going on there with the ceiling in. When I turn around, you'll see what I mean. In the great room, we can see how we transition up. And one thing I did on this great room is different. Is I did, instead of, we had the room kind of split, and if you guys want me to do that again, I certainly can. I just thought it would be with this great room. That's going to be our focal point, because we're going to be looking off that bluff toward the mountains. I just really felt like that would be, excuse me, the best way to do this. This wall here, and maybe we could bring this bathroom out and around over here somewhere. It just got difficult when I'm trying to do this. If we want to do this Jack and Jill bathroom thing, that kind of locks us in, at least in my opinion so far. So I did that and brought down to the hallway, or this area here. So the only thing I can think of to try to get rid of some space would be to take and scooch this right here. I could probably take like this much out of the laundry, possibly blow the room, move this wall over, make that part of the master bedroom, grabbing a portion of this area and sliding it down as well, thus reducing the overall footprint. But I really wanted to at least share what I had with you guys, and then throw together this video so you could see what I had space wise, so you guys could make that choice. Helps if I know what kind of furniture you're going to put in there. I'll throw a table set. Maybe you want a table for 8. I don't know. Maybe you've got couches. The fireplace might be a different one. Honestly, these windows, I don't think they're going to work. They may. It's kind of what Jordan had there. This is a lot of window for that wall, and that's not really a view window. So I would make that half the window. But again, that's your guys' call. Let me throw it back on this other camera. And we could do something different with these front windows. It's possible you might want to run a bottom vent across it, a horizontal divider with the bottom kick out for an awning. We did talk about it, but I can't remember whether you guys wanted to do the slope windows. And I looked at it earlier, and I didn't like the way it looked, because again, if I tell this window here, I want to do, we want it to look like the outside, like that. You'll see what it does is it copies and mirrors the outside roof pitch, which is an 812. The inside of this is a 612, so that we can get our truss cost down. So you can kind of see here, a couple of the, I did go ahead and throw some trusses in there just to give us an idea where our profiles would be at. So this would be our standard truss for the great room. It'd be a scissor truss. These aren't as expensive as like what we talked about, the 8-12 on the end. This is 6 on the end, 8 on the out. Then in the kitchen, we'll just have a standard 6-12 across there. The front to back right now are just 28 footers. And then when we get into the master bedroom, we'll have this 26 foot with the tray in the master. Depending on what we do up front, over the entryway, you'll have these scissor trusses like this. And there's nothing that says when you bring these trusses across in the entry, maybe you want to pop the entry up 1 foot, and that'd be easy to lift the bottom cord up on this truss so it's the same truss profile, but in the bottom in the entry, we would lift this truss up like this. In the entry, we could go easily lift it up 1 foot, so you'd have like a little tray in the immediate area when you walk in the entry. That's up to you, but that will give you a chance to have a higher entry there, possibly raise your front entry up to 10 foot, because this was the focal point of our previous job. Let's look at the outside of that window and show you what I'm talking about. See, it does follow the outside of this, but not on the inside. So I'll just let you guys chew on that. Let me get this front door. Yeah, you can see I moved that foundation back. It hasn't rebuilt that. So if I go here, rebuild this deck, then I can
you can't escape work, but you can take small steps to care for yourself. A walk, some sun, a favorite song. Therapy is one of those steps. Ongoing support to,
and like I was saying, we could step that entry up if we wanted to. I just went ahead and put a regular, this wall coming across here will be just a regular framed footer wall in the crawl space. I'll clean that up.
Zero sugar pineapple passion fruit is
Okay, let's go ahead and
the amount of peas we packed in that sentence. It's packed like your tote bag, the one you stole from your ex, or your overpriced half a studio apartment.
see if all that looks all right. Let's do this. I'll kill that. Okay.
Like your calendar. Triple booked at 5.
And I thought I wrote down the vehicles that you guys are driving because
Did we mention it's packed with vitamins?
when I do it, I will put your vehicle models and I'll look them up online, and then I can put inside of this right here, I'll have some glass blocks. So I could do something like over in the room, depending on what you've got. I'll go ahead and you have a Suburban or something, you can draw a car in there like this.
A collection of curated lo-fi instrumental tracks perfect for study.
We'll find out what size it is.
The banner to listen now on Spotify.
Then I'll just take and convert it to a polyline. We'll turn it into glass. Okay. We'll say it's 84 inches tall, 96 wide. Let's see, we'll call that's good. We'll call it 230. I think that's what the crew cabs are running. And then the materials, I just make it glass, tempered. And yeah, I think no. Okay, so now when I do that, it does help space plan. So that's kind of what I was looking for, what car size the cars are. I'll draw it in the room and kind of walk around it and see if it fits. So I think we're on our way. We're getting there. And to kind of explain what I'm talking about in this front area, like right here, we could probably do a 10-foot area on that. And lift it up, so, and it might be like the bedroom tray. Let me just draw a tray in there. They'll probably just let me build one in this room since I defined it now. There we go. Let's go ahead and add a tray. Okay. I guess what I was thinking is I might just take and raise that whole thing up to 10 foot. A lot of guys will frame this wall here at 10 foot tall. Then they bring the truss in and they just landed on a 10-foot wall, 1 foot higher than the other, so they can get rid of all this boxy junk here. And it allows for potential higher transom window in this section right here. Might put a 1 foot transom over that, raise these up, and that would be shown. I did something like this, it'll show you. Technically, I can just do that, bang, and take this one right over here, bam, and that. If I did it all the way through, then all the trusses will know what they need to do. Okay. You see that give it quite a bit more room up there if that's what we wanted to do. And that would be shown in this section view right here. I'll combine it with the master bedroom. So when we come across that, I didn't quite cut it right. This goes right into the master bedroom here. Drops down and comes over. And you know what I think the best way to do this is? Let me just get rid of that piece. I think the best way to establish that is just to change this room height. To 10 foot 1 1/8, and that should, and I want that to say entry foyer. There you go. And then it shows us we're at 10 feet. So there you go. So as it pops over and gets into that entry there, you could do something like that. Some people will do that, and then they'll grab a fan and put a fan in their entry too. So let's look at that in the dollhouse. And okay. If we wanted to do something with transoms or taller windows in there, that would take care of it. And then as you can see, as we exit this entry foyer, we would drop down to the standard 9-foot hall. And then as we look into the master bedroom, I think I stuck a queen in here. We'll have to talk about that. I normally put a king in the masters. Let's see that. Yeah, it is a queen. So just let me know what you guys have. We may have talked about it already, but more than anything, it'll help us when we go to do our space planning. Okay. So let's go back and take a quick look at this. As we cruise through and continue on, and we're looking at these pages, this should have updated a little bit. I'll have to go back and clean it. Yeah, you can kind of see the living changed a little bit. We'll grab this, for instance. Since I move this entry in, instead of 249 and we bump it up, you're going to have 360 there now.
Vitamin water, 0
So I'm trying to reduce this and increase that. This area here, I think could go. I don't know if we're going to swell the bedroom into it and try to slide everything over. I know that since we're happy with this over here, I'm trying not to change too much, but anyways, I'm looking forward to having you guys take a look at that. Appreciate it. So I will follow this back up with another, with the current layout showing this. Like I said, I've got this right on into the pantry, and each of these rooms I've got broken up. So the kitchen is of course designated here, and that's quite large actually, but it's your guys' place. So this is showing a 17 by 15, roughly 16 foot, all at 9 foot flat. And then this area here is, this right here will be the dividing line, an invisible wall shorting what is giving you a living room and a dining room, both of which are underneath the vault. And then we transition into the flat here. So
when you need a legal hand, turn to LegalZoom. Visit LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom provides access.
I think that's getting us pretty close, guys. Let's look and see what the notes said on that earlier. I think this is what I had gathered out of it, is that we were gonna we'll figure out for sure what we want to do in the mechanical room. The half bath, this I got a little bit, wasn't sure, because I really feel like we're double hitting that thing one right across the hall, and I just didn't know if I wanted to put the powder up in the living room, dining room area. But we absolutely can. So you guys let me know what you want. So I think we hit our goals. I didn't want to make this too long, but I will take a sec, because this here was the one that's going to show us. Yeah, I did want to do this for you guys. We've got the topo is in this plan here, and I will get into adding I have to crop the I have to go in and make another copy of the topo, which would be the ground. You can kind of see the glass house. I've drew your property with the slope and what appears to be a glass house right there. So in the background, let me use a different camera. So here's the hill from the bottom at the cul-de-sac, and this is showing the driveway. And in the next one, what I'll do is I'll be flattening out the whole top of this at the 0 grade level where the driveway enters the garage. So when I do the next top, or when I'm able to get that taken care of, I will take this right here elevation and flatten everything back to the back side of the lot, and then I'll pull the back of the home, make sure we've got our to the master bedroom, because we did push this one out a little bit more than the original plan. So basically that's what the lot looks like. Let me see if I think it gets crazy when I put this into the regular standard like that, and then we can pop out of there. It shows the house getting buried, but you can kind of see the terrain a little bit better. So I'll get in there and I'll figure out how to flatten that out. But basically, this is as is with the property. So you can see we'll be flattening it out a bit there on the back. I think if I go through it, it'll get past it, and then we can. So in the back here, it will be flattened out a bunch. That's where we want to have our RV park right there too. So let's see. I'll go back to the glass house. And so I'll grade that down and show what it's going to be like if we try to stick a RV park or some type of a parking flat area. And as we get the roof done and all the details and we figure out what we want to do, at that point, I'll go in and clean up all these gables. I'll do that, the Craftsman style gable on the end and get that cleaned up. We can decide whether we want to go with the scissor here in the center. I think this right here would come up and I can clean that. Okay, let me get rid of that. All right, guys. These windows, I wasn't sure about. It seems like we talked about it. I'd like to get both models of the cars in here so we can be space planning with that block, and we can make sure we're good to go on sizes. I can ditch that, but I wanted you guys to be able to take a look at the dog wash and see if you want me to do something like that for you with the regular, like a person's shower stall is what they typically will do. I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go, guys. We'll decide on the window later. Give you an idea what we got going. I think these are too tight. I was just going to rebuild this deck again real quick so we can see that as we're flying around. Okay, and that ought to do it. Right there is what I was trying to get built, okay? Again, we've got no windows at this time in the back of the pantry or in the laundry or the bathroom. So that right there took care of that. I'll frost those windows or put obscure glass in them. And I'll fix the foundations here in a bit. Well, all these are going to have a 40-inch stem wall, but I'm not going to mess with that until I get all the rooms defined, and then I'll clean that all up. But hey, take a look at it, guys. Hope this works good for you. We'll talk to you on the flip side.